we are just about set to go. Leah Ernest will jump it up for Valparaiso. It's tossed and tipped. The Leathernecks have the opening toss, and let's take a look at the starting lineups for this one, presented by Northwest Health, proud supporter of Beacon Athletics. Folks, for Western Illinois, focus on Anna Dietz, the senior guard out of Mason City, Iowa. 12 points, 6 boards per game coming in. And for the Valparaiso Beacons, their starting lineup. Watch Olivia Brown, the senior out of East Grand Rapids, Michigan, closing in on 1,000 points in her career. She is the leader on the floor for the Valparaiso Beacons.
Well, thus far, Valpo in man-to-man, and of course, the Leathernecks are as well. So this is going to be an up and down game. Both teams play a lot of players, and they like to up tempo.
Western Illinois with the basketball with 10 to shoot. Leathernecks in the purple uniforms. Dietz off the right baseline, looks to find on top for Brownfield. They'll throw it into the backcourt. And that's the first turnover of the afternoon for the Western Illinois Leathernecks. Western, folks, coming in 3-1 on the season. Their only loss up in Madison at the hands of Wisconsin. That was a 22-point loss, courtesy of the Badgers. 3-1, as we mentioned, coming in. Wins over Mount Mercy, Northern Illinois, and Hannibal LaGrange earlier this week.
And they put up a lot of points, too. They're averaging about 78 points a game.
Yeah, they like to score the basketball. There's no doubt. They'll run, too. A club that really likes to run as Katie Byer goes off the baseline. Window jumper, no good. Weak side board. Dietz of Western Illinois.
Yeah, Byer's gotten 2 good looks at the basket, just couldn't put them in.
Off the baseline, McCowan, she's the freshman. We talked about her in the open. She's going to be a good one. On top, Meadows. Dietz will fire the first 3 of the afternoon. No good. Long board cleaned up by Valpo after it goes out of bounds after the hands of Regan McCowan and company. As we mentioned, coming in 3-1. They have 8 of their first 11 games in Macomb, Coach. That's an outstanding schedule early on.
Nice and comfortable. Quite the opposite of Valpo, with just 3 home games, one of which is an exhibition.
Ernest with a basketball for the Beacons. Now they look inside, looking that time for Olivia Sims. She loses the handle, but Valpo comes out of there with it. Here's Jill Harris, the 5th-year senior from Johnson C. Smith, with 1 year of eligibility for Valpo, Coach. And she's going to provide some stability to this club.
Yeah, they really need a pass-first point guard, and that's what they got with Harris.
So Western has the basketball. 8 minutes to go here in the opening quarter. McCowan loses the handle. Sims tries to track it down, but it's cleaned up that time by Brownfield.
Valpo's been really disruptive on this offensive, on the defensive end.
Dietz on the wraparound, loses the handle, turned over into the hands of Valpo. Here come the Beacons on the push. Brown on the step through, it's up, and no good, but Olivia Brown to the line to shoot a couple.
Nice job of splitting the defense and attacking, as you can see right there.
Yeah, Brown taking it right through the defenders, and she'll head to the line. Closing in on 1,000 points in her career. Had 6 versus Eastern. 13 academic All-American a season ago, had 17 double-figure games. And, Coach, she's going to be the leader on the floor for this club.
Absolutely. Leader verbally and just stat-wise. And, of course, she and Leah Ernest, 2 seniors that are really kind of the leaders, right, and they're seniors. And, of course, with 6 newcomers, they have to step up.
So Brown hits them both. Beacons working with an early lead. 7.5 to play here in the opening frame. Here's Brownfield. She'll stop and pop. That's short. Long offensive board by Alyssa Dins. The shot clock resets to 20 for Western. Here's McCowan. Lob inside for Dins. She'll shoot a couple.
I think Brown just came over a little bit late. If you can see, Byer was stuck behind, and then Brown came over to help on the weak side, just a little late.
Mary Evans going to her bench, bringing in the 6'1" redshirt sophomore out of Cedar Rapids, Iowa, I should say, and that's Ella Van Wielden. So Valpo going to bring in a post presence as Dins heads to the line. The 6'1" graduate senior hits the first one. Started every game a season ago for Western, 4th in the Summit League in rebounding. Also a solid defender in the post, and she gets that one to drop. We're tied at 2 as Valpo has the basketball. Here's Brown. Looking for Van Wielden, picks it up, gets it to Sims. Sims shut off. Now they get it back to Brown, head of the key. Ernest with 11 to shoot. Good patience by Valpo. Here's Sims out of the corner. Wide of the mark. loose ball foul coming up against Valparaiso, and it's going to be Van Wielden picking up her first.
You know, both teams you're going to see a lot of three-point shooting, and Valpo actually leads the Valley in three-point shooting. They've had 10 in the last game, and as far as percentage goes, they're in the 40s. So both teams going to light it up.
Dins. Nice move inside that time by Brownfield, and the sophomore out of Boonsville, Missouri, averages 10 points coming in, gets the bucket to drop. Western working with an early 2-point advantage with 6:27 to go here in the first. Brown now for Valpo. Brown had a quiet afternoon down in Charleston a week ago, as we talked about, Coach, only having 6 points, but she's going to be somebody that Mary Evans will expect some scoring from this year to take a little pressure off of Leah Ernest.
Oh, no question. And she was 2 for 2 from the three-point line, but they really just hawked her. They face guarded her. She just played 20 minutes.
Brownville on the scoop to the hoop, I should say, and Brownfield has it poked out of bounds. A couple of substitutions for the Beacons. Eva Interante checks in. Nevaeh Jackson also. Jackson, the good-looking freshman guard out of Fort Wayne. Her and her sister really providing this club with some athletic ability early on.
Right. I mean, between them, they had 18 points in the loss against Eastern.
There's Ernest on the rebound for Valpo. She'll bring it into the front court. Corner pocket three. Nevaeh Jackson, no good. Rebound by the Leathernecks. A one-and-done that trip for Valpo. Mallory McDermott into the game. Her floater is too strong. She's going to stick with Western.
McDermott, a big scorer off the bench for the Western Leathernecks. And both teams are you're going to see a lot of bench play. As you can see, that there's been a lot of substituting now. But the Leathernecks their bench outscores the opponent's bench by about 20 points.
Brownfield will trigger the inbound for the Leathernecks. Inside Dins, put it to the floorboard, faces the double down, finding Meadows, who floats it in the lane. That's no good. Interante with the board and the push. Here come the Beacons on the prowl with 5:27 to go in their opening frame. Ernest. Back to Brown. She'll fire the rainbow triple. That's too strong. Jackson tries to get it on the weak side. Cleared out of there by Western. Approaching the midway mark here in the opening quarter.
And Western does a really good job of boxing out on the defensive end.
McCowan, now Brownfield. Inside, trying to pound it into Dims. She faces the double down, ripped away by Interante. Turnover. Valpo with numbers if they hurry. Interante to the rack, layup up and good. Ava Interante with a nice touch pass to Ernest. Ernest gets it right back, coach. Reward the player getting up and down the floor, and Interante gets the hoop.
Yeah, Valpo defensively has really created some runouts for their offense as they're double teaming the post. And you can see right there with the double team on the post, the Leathernecks got a person free, and they had a layup at the rim. So they're up by 2, and then Valpo turns it back over.
Up ahead, McCowan to the bucket, and it's up and in.
That was a nice Euro step by McCowan.
We talked about it off air, Coach. This Western club wants to get it and go.
They do, and so does Valpo. So it should be a pretty high-scoring game. Because Valpo let a rip too. They lead the Valley, as I mentioned earlier, in three-point shooting.
You know, you mentioned threes. Last season for Western, they connected on 220 of them. So a solid shooting club as well. Timeout on the floor. We'll join them. 4:05 to go. Western up early. You're watching the Valley on ESPN.
All right, guys, listen up. This entire season boils down to one word.
Bundle home and auto.
But that's 4 words.
Not if you bundle them. Bundling, just another way to save with the personal price plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
We just moved, so there's millions of
Dahlias in bloom, over 9 acres. When we started, we grew 1/4 of an acre.
Now I'm taking on new products on the regular.
We always dreamed of having this property, so
I want to make my yard look as beautiful as
largemouth bass.
Yep.
We've got tons of them, don't we, buddy?
There are millions of ways to make the most of your land. How will you make the most of yours?
Experience all that John Deere has to offer at Gastonia Tractor. Visit us online at castrac.com.
Flip the switch, a light turns on. Press the button, machines and instruments come to life. Touch the screen, communicate with the world. Simple tasks, guaranteed results, every second of every day. That's the power of power. And that's the power brought to you by the NECA contractors and electrical workers of Local 531.
You see that? How you can see every delicious speck of sesame, garlic herb, and Parmesan? That is what flavored crust should look like. Crust so irresistible that if pizza could eat pizza, it would be this pizza. Can you imagine how good a pizza would have to be for it to eat itself? Talk about irresistible. Now get an irresistible meal deal for any budget starting at just $5.99.
Hungry?
Howie!
We are Beacon.
Renee Turba, these are two clubs that somewhat familiar with each other, you might say, over the years. 38th meeting all time between these former mid-con rivals. Valpo with the slimmest lead, 19-18 advantage Beacons. And last season, Western picked up the 83-67 win over Valparaiso. That was down in Macomb.
Right, and they've been 3-0 against Valpo since Valpo left the mid-con.
Of course, Western Illinois in their first season in the Ohio Valley Conference after spending a number of seasons in the Summit. They were picked to finish 10th in the OVC this season. But I'll tell you what, watching this club early on, I think they're going to surprise some people in the Ohio Valley.
Certainly didn't count on a freshman being their leading scorer and rebounder when they predicted it.
Nevaeh Jackson's jumper is no good. Dins with the board.
With Valpo 1 for 7 from the field right now, with getting good looks, just haven't knocked any down.
Western basketball. Kaylin Reed into the game now wearing number 32 off the left side. McDermott fires the triple, and she connects. McDermott, the senior out of Fairfax, Iowa, averaging 12 points per contest. Had a career-high 21 versus Northern Illinois a season ago. Another one who could shoot the basketball. Off the rebound, put back by Sanaya. Jackson's up and good. Jackson, the freshman, by way of Fort Wayne coach, had a nice afternoon versus Eastern last week. Had 7 points in 18 minutes.
Yeah, and her sister had 11 points, so there's definitely a rivalry going with the twins.
To the deck goes McDermott. Tries to muscle her way into the lane. Leaping leaner, no good. Rebound by Valpo. Pushed up ahead. Here's Nevaeh Jackson. On top, Jill Harris. Harris to the hoop. Blocked out of bounds. Swatted out of bounds by Alyssa Dins.
Harris had a career-high 12 points last week as well. So, and she ended up with, I believe, 3 assists and a couple rebounds.
We talked about Dins' ability to be a solid defender as well, and you see right there she also possesses the ability to block the shot. Swats it out of bounds. Valpo basketball. 2:47 to go here in the opening frame. Here's Harris for Valpo. Now to Interante. Nice move by Interante. Her step through is no good, but she shuffled the shoes. A turnover by Valparaiso for the Beacons. Turnover number 4 here in the opening quarter.
Points off turnovers are going to be an important stat for Valpo.
Western with the basketball. Here's McCowan. Now to Brownfield. Brownfield looks to turn the corner. Leaves it in the corner to McDermott. 10 to shoot. McCowan. Now Brownfield off the lob inside to McCowan. It's up. It's good. She'll shoot 1. Reagan McCowan, the good-looking freshman out of Lebanon, Missouri. The reigning Missouri, I should say, the Ohio Valley Conference Player of the Week as well as Freshman of the Week, goes to the stripe with a chance at the three-point play.
See, the problem with the jump-switching defense is that on a roll, that's going to be open every time. And it's really tough when there's a high-low from the top of the key, right, and underneath there's no help.
Big-time scorer out of high school in Lebanon, Missouri, averaged 27 a night, had 13 and 11 versus Wisconsin. That was a big test for her, and I think she passed it.
Absolutely.
Western working with their largest lead of the afternoon as Ella Van Wilden fires a long-range 3. The lefty can't get that to go. Long rebound by the Beacons, and another crack at it for Valpo.
Yeah, Beacon's typically a really good three-point shooting team, and they've gotten a lot of good looks, but they just haven't been able to hit one.
Nevaeh Jackson, offensive foul. It's going the other way. Also, the turnover as Jackson records the personal foul. That's her first. And Olivia Brown back in, as well as Leah Ernest for the Beacons.
Yeah, turnovers are piling up for Valpo.
Good call by official Mark Berger. There you see the numbers in the turnover category early in this one. Valpo with 5 of them. And Western been able to take advantage of them. Brownfield for Western. She'll take it hard to the hoop up off the window, and she goes to the stripe to shoot a couple. Western's ability to beat Valpo off the dribble has really been the key to this opening quarter.
It has been, absolutely has been. That was really good contained defense by Harris, but then at the last minute she reached over and fouled.
Kennedy Flanagan checks in now for the first time this afternoon, the senior forward out of Canton, Missouri. Had a nice afternoon versus Northern earlier this year with 7 of 7 from the floor. Brownfield at the line. The sophomore comes up short on the first one. 14 starts a season ago for her at a season high 9-4. Average 9-4, I should say, a game. 13 points earlier this year versus Wisconsin as well. She splits them. And the lead is 9 for the Leathernecks.
Brownfield's career high was last year versus Valpo with 21 points.
Ernest out of the corner for 3, up and good. Leah Ernest, that's how her game has improved since she got here 4 years ago.
She's really, yeah, she didn't even have a three-point shot 4 years ago, but she's really worked hard on it the last couple of years, and Valpo finally hits their first 3. It goes within 6 points of the Leathernecks as they get off a 3.
McDermott's second jumper of the possession is no good, and a loose ball foul against Valpo. I think Olivia Brown the guilty party.
That might be her second foul.
Yep, they're going to call Brown on the clear out.
I think you can say weak side rebound right there, yeah, with the clear out. Trying to box out.
Carla Flores to the stripe, the graduate senior out of Barcelona, Spain. 28 games a season ago for her to the line, averaging 4 points and a couple of boards early in this season. She gets the first to drop with a minute to go in the quarter. Western up 7. Flores to get one more, and she gets that to drop. Western coming in shooting 33% from the floor, 22% from 3, Coach, early on. And we talked about their defense. They have forced 19 turnovers a game through the first 4 games.
And Valpo's actually done a decent job of not turning it over for a easy bucket or an unforced turnover. But as I mentioned it, the announcer's curse happens. That's the first run out that WIU's gotten.
So Flores with the bucket. That's her 4th one of the afternoon. Lead 10 once again for Western. Here's Ernest. Grant down the lane, runner up and good. Nice move right there by Jill Harris, I should say. Harris gets the hoop. So Harris with the bucket for the Beacons. Jill Harris with her first deuce of the afternoon. Shot clock shut off. It shows 15 seconds on the game clock. Here's Kaylin Reed. Down the lane goes Dietz. Her left-hand scoop is up and in. So Dietz gets the bucket. A little pressure by Western Illinois, and that'll mark the end of the first bowl. In terms of the numbers, those were career highs on that afternoon for Jada Johnson and Eva Interante, each with 16 and 15 respectively.
Yeah, if you looked at that stat, you'd say, well, Western had 22 turnovers to Valpo's 11, but they still won by 15. I think a big stat there was free throws.
Ernest again out of the corner for 3, no good. Here come the Leathernecks on the push. Here's Reed into the front court.
You see Jada Johnson for the first time this season.
Flanagan working on Harris. Now Flores. Right side to Dean.
Valpo, really good job of flying around and extending that offense.
Reed dials up long distance and she connects.
Great patience by the Leathernecks to be able to get that deep in the shot clock.
Yeah, big time potential for this youngster, the freshman out of Rochester, Illinois. Off the steal, Western basketball. Timeout taken by the Leathernecks. A couple of substitutions for Western. Check that. I thought they called timeout. They said the alternating possession gives it back to Western. For a second, I thought J.D. Ravina, now in his 13th season, called the timeout. But the Arrow's going to give it back to Western. Leathernecks with their largest lead of the afternoon. Deflected away off the steal. Valpo with the basketball. Here's Ernest to the timeline. A foul deep in the corner against Western.
It's kind of tough to see. I don't know if she was ready to shoot or not, but
Kennedy Flanagan will get called for pass interference.
Yeah, that was there was no question about that foul, that's for sure.
Don't have to review that one, right? Emma Tech in now for the first time this afternoon for the Beacons.
Valpo just 1 of 8 from the three-point line after having shot 42% behind the line in their first game against Eastern, and with 10 made threes.
Interante. Now Ernest in the lane. Her leaping leaner is up and good. At the other end, quickly down the lane, goes the freshman, Reagan McCowan. And McCowan going back to the line with a chance at the three-point play.
McCowan just so savvy for a freshman. Obviously, we highlighted her at the beginning, that she's their leading scorer and rebounder as a freshman.
You know, we mentioned Ava Interante coming out of the break, and she's another one, Coach, I think, for Valpo. If you think about it, coming off the bench, a senior, going to provide some leadership for the Beacons as well this year.
Really, and she's the backup point guard, I believe, to Jill Harris. So, you know, when Harris needs a breather, Interante can come in. Very capable scorer and ball handler.
Allie Meadows from straight on buries the bomb. The sophomore out of DeWitt, Iowa, ups it to a 16-point lead. 8 minutes to go here in the first half of play here in the home opener for the Beacons. Shot up and good. Jada Johnston to the strike.
As I mentioned before, her career high is against this Western Illinois team, and she obviously was last year 16 points. And so she took it to the hole, and she gets the and one.
Came off the bench in all 30 games a season ago, as we mentioned, 16 versus Western a year ago. Can't capitalize on the three-point opportunity. Western with possession and the push. Here's Meadows. Now Brownfield. Out of the corner, that three is no good. Weak side board by Alyssa Dins. Dins inside, Dietz runner no good. Beacons on the push. Teka wide open on top. Comes up short. Ernest with the offensive board and a loose ball foul.
Wow.
And a late whistle.
They're going to call that on Ernest?
Yep, Leah Ernest with personal. That's her first.
Huh.
Western has it, and they are in control up 14. Johnston with the steal off the turnover by Western. Here comes Jill Harris and the Beacons.
Great defense by Johnston. She released away from the post player and then was able to step in the passing lane and steal it.
Sims takes the screen, kicks it in the corner, and an offensive foul against Olivia Sims. That's her first.
Valpo still turning it over at a pretty high rate, 8 turnovers.
Under 7 minutes to go here in the first half. Valpo trails by 14 at the hands of the Western Illinois Leathernecks.
They've gotten a lot of touches in the paint, and which has created a problem, obviously, for Western, or excuse me, for Valpo defensively. Once you get the ball inside and you collapse, you get those nice looks from the perimeter.
Here's Harris now for the Beacons. Ernest to the floorboard. Out of the corner, three from Harris is up and good. Jill Harris, the graduate senior, hits it. Had 12 and 3 versus Eastern, brings Valpo within 11. Coming up on the midway mark in the second quarter, inside jump pass for Dins is up and good.
Well, Valpo they're not getting a rotation. All 5 have to be on a string, and 4 people rotate. If the weak side guard doesn't drop down, they're going to get those layups, and that's what happened.
Teka goes baseline, shut off by Western. Now Ernest has it with 10 to shoot. Harris with 7. Shot clock at 5. Johnston tracks it down. She better fire it with 1 to shoot. It's up, and a shot clock violation against Valparaiso. Western will get it back off the turnover.
Valpo just a little bit out of sync there on that possession. It's the first time really it's gotten close to the shot clock violation.
Leah Ernest to the bench for Valparaiso. There you see the points off turnovers. Valpo with 9. Western with 8. Beacons this afternoon has turned it over thus far 9 times as well. Meadows inside. They pound it into McCowan. And McCowan can't get that to go.
The one saving grace for those turnovers for Valpo, that most of them have been dead ball turnovers, so
right.
They get to set their defense up. So you can see Harris goes to the hole.
On the push, here's Dietz for Western. Now McCowan. McCowan off the baseline drive. And a blocking foul against Valpo. It's going to be Olivia Sims, I believe.
That's going to be her second.
So Sims gets the personal foul. And Western with the basketball. Halfway home here in the second quarter.
Yeah, Valpo with their 4th team foul in this quarter alone.
Here's Brownfield now. Looking to lob it inside, ripped away by the Beacons off the turnover.
Really good save by Ray Redmond, the freshman out of Trotwood, Ohio.
High energy is Ray Redmond. Sims now for Valpo. She'll fire the 17-footer. Going to be short on that one. Cleaned out of there by Mallory McDermott of Western. A one and done that trip for the Beacons.
This is the first you see Ray Redmond on the floor. Didn't get to play against Eastern. And she creates that turnover.
Timeout on the floor. We'll take it with them. 4:28 to go in the first half. Western has an 11-point lead. You're watching The Valley on ESPN.
Flip the switch, a light turns on. Press the button, machines and instruments come to life. Touch the screen, communicate with the world. Simple tasks, guaranteed results, every second of every day. That's the power of power. And that's the power brought to you by the Nika contractors and electrical workers of Local 531.
Lakeshore Bone and Joint Institute proudly delivers world-class orthopedic care. Our goal is to get patients back to doing the activities they love after an orthopedic issue. We have over 25 highly trained specialists for every orthopedic need who provide complete care to patients of all ages. From testing and treatment to surgery and rehabilitation, you can get the complete orthopedic care you need close to home. Visit lbji.com today to make an appointment.
The Valley runs deep.
We have all Americans.
We have champions.
We have Olympians.
We have legends.
And the Valley just got deeper.
Uncover the hidden gems along the south shore of Lake Michigan. Hike miles of trails at the Indiana Dunes or taste world-class gummies at Albanese Candy. Sip on a handcrafted drink at a brewery or a winery, or enjoy a culinary creation at a unique local eatery. Shop quaint downtowns or visit lively casinos. Go on a farm adventure or play at an interactive family fun center. The South Shore has it all. Plan your spring getaway at alongthesouthshore.com.
We just moved, so there's millions of...
Valley is in bloom, over 9 acres. When we started, we grew a quarter of an acre.
Now I'm taking on new products on the regular.
We always dreamed of having this property, so
I want to make my yard look as beautiful as
Largemouth bass.
Yep.
We've got tons of them, don't we, buddy?
There are millions of ways to make the most of your land. How will you make the most of yours?
Experience all that John Deere has to offer at Castonia Tractor. Visit us online at castrac.com.
You can download the Disney Plus app right now and start streaming the best of Disney, Pixar, Marvel, Star Wars, and National Geographic, ad-free wherever and whenever you want them. For more information, go to disneyplus.com. That's disneyplus.com. Beacons trailing by 11 here, Coach, with 4:28 to go in the first half, and Valpo struggling shooting the basketball.
Yeah, Valpo, especially from the three-point line, just 1 for 7 in the first quarter and 1 for 5 so far in this quarter as well, and it's a big part of Valpo's offense.
Nevaeh Jackson in now for Valpo now. On top, that's Katie Byer for 3, too strong. Rebound snatched out of there by Mallory McDermott of Western. Leathernecks in transition. Stop and pop 3 is short out of the hands of Allie Meadows. And it's going back to Valpo.
Yeah, both teams like to shoot the 3, but Western has a little bit more of an inside presence, and they're out-rebounding Valpo 19 to 10. So obviously almost doubling up Valpo's rebounding.
Katie Byer gets a breather for Valpo as Leah Ernest re-enters for the Beacons. Here's Nevaeh Jackson on the crossover. Redmond now weaves to the bucket, up off the window. She gets it to go. Raven Ray Redmond, folks, the freshman out of Trotwood, Ohio. Didn't play against Eastern, but, Coach, when you talk to Mary Evans, she'll talk about how energized she is on both ends of the floor.
Well, we noticed it right away as she played maybe 10 seconds and created a turnover, and then you saw that great move to finish at the rim. And so Valpo is just chipping away at this lead a little bit, down to 11 now. Unfortunately, that's Valpo's 5th team foul for this quarter, and 2 free throws, and free throws the rest of the way for the next 3.5 minutes. And obviously, Western is a strong team. They shoot a lot more free throws. They shoot almost 24 a game, whereas Valpo had 9 against Eastern.
McCowan gets that one to go. She had 23 earlier this year versus Northern. McCowan now with 9 points on the day. Sims into the lane, loses it out of bounds. And it's going back to the Leathernecks.
Yeah, once again, at least a dead ball turnover and no run-outs. As that was my announcer curse earlier where they stole the ball the minute I mentioned that.
Under 3.5 to go here in the first half. And Brownfield followed by Valpo.
So now there'll be the 11th and 12th free throw for the Leathernecks, and then Valpo has just shot 3, and they're 2 for 3 right now.
Redmond gets the personal for the Beacons. To the line goes Addie Brownfield, the sophomore guard. Gets the first to go. She gets another.
Well, as a team, they're shooting well over 80% from the free throw line, so 9 out of 11.
Comes up short on number 2. Valpo down 14, working with a basketball with 3:22 to go. There you see the numbers early on. Western 9 of 12 from the line. Valpo only 2 of 3 on the day. That was a problem at times last year. I think that just comes back to the style of play, the perimeter game, a big part of Valpo's offense.
Right, and as you can see, we just mentioned that. Ernest picks up the foul, driving to the basket. If you shoot a lot of threes, you're not going to get fouled.
Right.
That's is a big part of Valpo's offense. And when they're on, it's a great part. It's, last week 10 threes, they shot 42% from the three-point line. Tonight 2 for 13, just 15% thus far.
Ernest misses the front end. She gets one more. Had a career high 20 last year versus Central Michigan. Started 22 of 30 games, hits number 2, Leah Ernest, with her 6th point here in the half. And it eats back in now for Western Illinois.
Leading the way with 6 points is Ernest, kind of picking up where she left off last week, but she's the leading scorer.
Western basketball, Flores. Now to Brownfield. Stolen away by Redmond. Redmond on the run out. She'll take it to the rack. Layup up and good. That's what she brings to this club, Coach.
It's athleticism and quickness, and it's on display today.
Valpo needs to get it inside double figures, coach, to go into as they head into the locker room.
Yeah, just get a stop and get a rebound, put a body on somebody after the shot goes up.
Meadows. Now Flores. McDermott to the lane, ripped away by Redmond. Here comes the run out by the Beacons. Jackson hard to the bucket. Got caught in the air, coach, and that's a turnover by the youngster.
Yeah, she just didn't know where to go with that. She's got a little bit out of control. But as Leah Ernest just talks to her a little bit, you can see Redmond with 3 steals already.
Well, you see the youngsters on the floor, Redmond and Jackson. It just goes to show you the kind of athletic ability coming up.
Right, I know Coach Evans and staff, they're really excited about this group of freshmen.
Flores hits the 3. That breaks a 4-minute scoreless streak by Western at the other end. The quick 3 by Sims, no good. Here come the Leathernecks on the run out.
And this is where Valpo really struggled last week with matching up transition-wise. Oh, Redmond with nearly another steal.
Dietz fires the 3 and connects. Dietz with her first 3 of the afternoon. That is her 5th point here in the half. And we've got a foul after the bucket.
So the 3-point shot counts, and then there's a foul after the shot. Must have been on the 3-point shooter. Yeah, I believe so.
I think it was on Jackson. Yep, I think Nevaeh Jackson got the personal. Mary Evans having a conversation, getting clarification from the official. 30-second timeout taken by Valpo.
Boy, this lead is ballooned to 17 very quickly.
Watch right here. And I think
that was after the shot. She ran by and hit it. Oh, no, it's underneath.
It's going to be Emma Tecca.
Yeah.
So Tecca will get the personal foul. That's a big foul right there, as you said.
Foul.
You know, just moments ago, Coach, we talked about how Valpo had a chance to get it inside double figures.
Right. Yeah.
Going into halftime, and here we are looking at a 17-point deficit.
Yeah, that was a big turnaround for Valpo. You know, trying really to put a body on somebody, but right now they're lighting it up from the 3-point line. Oh, yeah. She hooked her arm, tried to pull her down.
So Tecca got the personal. That'll be her second.
And so now they get to go to the free throw line. Not only did they get the 3-point shot, but now they could get 2 more. This could be a 5-point possession.
Nevaeh Jackson and the Beacons down 17 as McDermott heads to the line. She hits the first one, gets another in the middle of a 4-point play, Coach.
Yeah, and possibly 5.
And it is. Jill Harris back in now for the Beacons.
Valpo's got to be careful here in the next minute 40 that this doesn't get out of control, because right now 18-point lead. They've got to be able to get some scores and stops.
Harris on the standing dribble. Looking for a teammate. 18 to shoot. Sanaya Jackson now with the basketball for the Beacons. Now to her sister Nevaeh. 9 to shoot. Jackson picks up the dribble. Sanaya down the lane, a runner up and good. Good looking shot right there by Sanaya Jackson, the freshman out of Fort Wayne, as we said, at 7 points in 18 minutes versus Eastern. Cuts the lead to 17 for the Leathernecks with a minute to go.
Good patience, too, by Valpo. See if they can get a stop here and maybe get a ball back and get another score.
Brownfield to the line to shoot 2.
Kind of bailed out on that one. Let's see, I think it was on Harris. Yeah, she reached over top. That's, I believe, Harris's second foul as well. So you've got Harris and Jackson. I think Nevaeh Jackson with 2. I know Brown has 2. So Valpo kind of piling up the fouls, especially at the guard position.
One more now for Brownfield. Can't get it to go. Fouls up her own miss. Putback not there. There's Ernest with the board. And a foul against Carla Flores of Western Illinois.
Just the team's 4th foul this quarter, so no free throws yet for Valpo.
.50 seconds to go here in the first half. Harris takes the screen from Ernest.
That was great screening action by Valpo to get a good look.
Sanaya Jackson loses the handle, but a reach-in foul against the Leathernecks.
Now Valpo will go to the free throw line. That's team foul number 5. So see if Valpo can cash in here with 36 seconds left in the quarter.
Carla Flores will get the foul.
You can see the reach around.
Number 2 for her. Sanaya Jackson to the line. 1,000-point score in high school at Northrop High in Fort Wayne. Misses the front end. She gets another.
Yeah, All-State. She and her sister both were All-State here in Indiana.
A couple of big pickups for the Beacons, no question.
Yeah, she misses both.
It's going to stick with Valpo.
Valpo retains possession.
Alyssa Dins back in now for Western Illinois. 34.7 seconds left here in the first half. Harris off the inbound looking for a teammate. Here's Redmond now for the Beacons. Back to Harris. Turnover by Valpo. Dietz will put the brakes on. Shot clock and game clock. Actually, they just shut the shot clock off, so there's 20 seconds left on the game clock. Western will hold for 1. Reed. Now Dins. 6 seconds to go. Jumper off the window is up and good.
Hand. That was very nice patience by the Leathernecks. Using the whole shot.
Mary Evans Club will get the basketball to begin the second half with some work to do as they trail by 19. And we are underway, and Coach, first 5 minutes of each half crucial in here, especially for Valpo.
Extremely. And Western's really closes out games well. They usually win the first and fourth quarter, so quarters in the middle, 2 and 3. 2 didn't go so well for Valpo as Sims gets to the rim and gets fouled. So actually, no, they call her for her 3rd foul, 2 of which were charges. So great help defense by the Leathernecks and picks up Sims' 3rd foul.
Western basketball with 9:33 to go here in the 3rd quarter. Down the lane goes McCowan. Her shot in the lane is no good, but she is fouled by a Beacon. And I think it's going to be Leah Ernest getting the personal.
That's 2 quick fouls for Valpo, so 3 more fouls, and the Leathernecks are shooting the rest of the way for the free throw line. That's one thing they couldn't afford to do, giving up 16 free throws in the first half alone.
McCowan to the stripe. Freshman hits the first. She gets another. 4 for 5 from the free throw line. Shooting 70% on the season. Second shot on the way is up and good. 21-point lead, the largest of the afternoon for Western Illinois with 9.5 to go here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, McCowan also has 6 rebounds as well. So
Ernest now to Byer. Baseline shut off by Western. Harris wide open 3 on top, and she connects.
That was a big answer for Valpo. They just need to be able to get some stops here at this end.
So Harris with the 3, that's her 5th point of the afternoon. Inside 20, the advantage for the Leathernecks here early on in the second half. Here's McCowan. Now to Brownfield. She'll split the defenders and takes it to the bucket. Blocked out of bounds by Leah Ernest with 12 to shoot. And Western hangs on to it.
You see Sims was there to be able to stop it, but she's a little hesitant playing with 3 fouls now.
Off the inbound. Looking for McCowan, ripped away by the Beacons. Here's Olivia Brown on the push. Brown on the stutter step, puts the brakes on, finds Byer, who trails for Valpo. Byer to the bucket. Her little floater in the lane up, no good.
So Byer got a good look at it. That would have cut the lead.
The trailer, Dietz, wide open 3 ball is up and in. Dietz dials up long distance. That's her 8th and her 2nd bomb of the afternoon. Back to 21-point lead for Western with 8:23 to go in the 3rd. Ernest now to Byer. Back to Ernest. Western doing a nice job defending the perimeter.
They really have, and that's where Valpo really needs to utilize their screening. They have some really good screening action, but they hadn't utilized it much. It's more of a drive and kick offense right now, and Western's doing a good job of clogging up the lane. As you can see the help come over.
McCowan got the personal. That's her 2nd. Leah Ernest to the line, senior out of Stevens Point, Wisconsin. First one up and good. She gets another. Ernest now with 7 points on the day. She has really improved her total game. And I know we mentioned early on in the broadcast how she really didn't have that three-point shooting ability when she got on campus, but she's really made herself into a player all the way around.
She really is, and she's a good leader on the floor as well.
Raven Ray Redmond in now for Valpo. Gave the Beacon some energy off the bench in that first half.
Valpo 2 for 2 here in this quarter for the free throw line, but just 3 for 7 in the first half.
Baseline drive, shot up and good by Caitlin Reed, the freshman, with the hoop. She's had a solid performance this afternoon as well. That's a half a dozen for her.
Valpo's contained defense is just not there sometimes, especially on the baseline, as you saw her go right to the hole.
Meadows works with a basketball for Western. Now Dietz has it. This Western club, folks, finished 10-20 a season ago and 6-9 in the Summit. Returning 4 starters, Coach. I think they're going to, like I said earlier, they're going to surprise some people in the conference.
Yeah, return 4 starters and then have a freshman that's leading the way. So, obviously, I think they'll probably finish better than what they're picked as 10th.
Brown, no good on the jumper. Western on the push. Dietz again launches the rainbow jumper, and she connects.
She's just standing in that spot every time. Valpo's got to locate her, and now it's a 24-point lead.
13-point lead. Check that, 13 points for Dietz and a big lead for Western Illinois. Time out on the floor, we'll take it with them. You're watching The Valley on ESPN.
And the kick is no good. Their epic losing streak.
Oh, a kick in the teeth would hurt less. But they probably miss that too. Let's show them that someone here knows how to kick it. With Fireball. Ignite the night with Fireball.
Football's in full swing. You ready? QB of the future? Check. Division unlock? Check and check. MVP case? A season that's still anyone's season? Check, baby. NFL on ESPN.
There's a part of the street of my grandfather. Part of me that I would never meet. I heard he liked to play along the bars.
Ever since I tried Hidden Valley Ranch, I finally found what I've been looking for.
Oh my gosh.
I know. How is this stuff so good? Hidden Valley Ranch.
Only serious about flavor.
They say there's a first time for everything. And this November proves it. It's the first time all 30 are all in. 6 groups where 8 teams advance.
These teams have all the star power
to conquer a brand new bracket.
This is must-see TV.
In the new NBA Cup. So the question is, who's going to be first to take it? It's in-season tournament time. It's NBA on ESPN time.
Superb racing. Yes, guys.
Getting him to brush is no longer a chore. The sink is overflowing onto the floor. Luckily, American Home Shield is there to fix or replace covered parts of appliances and home systems to help you stay on course and budget. Sign up today at ahs.com.
And it eats 13 points here on the afternoon for Western Illinois, including 3 of 4 from behind the arc. And, Coach, she's done it on both ends of the floor, defensively as well as offensively, and she's been able to shoot the 3 as well.
Yeah, as you can see, she located that exact same spot, all the 3s that she hit. Valpo has to locate her early in transition, but no stranger to all-conference last year, and picked as all-conference preseason as well.
Had 17 double-figure games a season ago, including 6 20-plus. She definitely has led this charge offensively today, 13 points to lead the Leathernecks as Jill Harris is fouled by Western.
A nice drive there by Harris, to be able to try to get to the rim and maybe make some things happen.
Valpo basketball off the inbound. Here's Redmond out for the Beacons. Now Brown. Olivia Brown been held quiet today, only a couple of points thus far. Hold in check.
They haven't been able to get her open. Again, that screening action has not been working for Valpo.
Harris out of the corner for three. It's up and good. Jill Harris fires the bomb. She's in double figures. Give her 11. That's her third three of the afternoon.
Very close to her career high, 12 points.
Inside 20, the advantage for the Leathernecks here with 6:23 to go in the third. Here's Dietz. Double down in the corner. And it results in the turnover. Good effort right there. Good smart play that time by Harris. She realized Coach Dietz going towards the baseline came from behind for the double team.
It's a nice little trap there to throw a little twist in on defensive end and try to make things happen.
So the turnover by the Leathernecks is their 13th of the afternoon. They still work with the big lead here, approaching the 6-minute mark in the third quarter. Ella Van Wielden back in now for the Beacon. She has the basketball. Inside, Harris, power dribble to the bucket. And she's got back-to-back buckets. Give her 13 on the day. And Jill Harris trying to keep the Beacons in this one, down 19.
A little screen-the-screener action for Valpo. Got that little curl cut and be able to finish at the rim.
Din's looking for a teammate. Inside Brownfield. Brownfield on the step through. Nice move. Can't finish. Going back to the Beacons, I think there might be a discussion about this one.
I don't know if you could challenge, that would be a challenge for sure. Oh, yeah, the last minute it hit off of her leg. Valpo happy with the call.
Beacons get it back. 5.5 to go, third quarter.
Yeah, chipping away. Got it down to, after ballooning to 24 at the beginning of the third, down to 19.
And Redmond fouled by Western.
Let's see if Valpo can get it to 10 at the end of third quarter. That's a manageable lead, really. If Valpo gets hot from the three-point line, which we've seen before can happen.
Brownfield gets the personal foul. That's her second.
Team third.
Jumper in the lane, no good. By Layla Gold, who's checked in for the Beacons.
First look at Layla Gold, who was Indiana All-Star last year for Indianapolis Cathedral.
Dietz on the stop and pop.
Gotta find her. She's got a spot, and she goes to it.
16 for her. That's her fourth three in 5 tries, and it's back to a 22-point lead with under 5 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Here's Gold. Redmond, not a Van Wielden. 8 to shoot. Jackson on the crossover. Jackson loses the handle. On the run out. Dietz to the bucket. It's up and it's good. 18 for her.
Yeah, Valpo has kind of lost its composure here a little bit, mostly playing one-on-one.
Harris to a hoop, timeout. Back after this, you're watching The Valley on ESPN.
Patrick, Jake from State Farm, explain this bundling thing again.
All right, Coach Reed. Let's say these fries are your car, right? And
And this burger is your home.
Okay.
It can be more affordable if you bundle them together.
Kind of like a combo meal.
Kind of like a combo meal.
Explain it again with those nuggies.
Bundling, just another way to save with the personal price plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
We just moved, so there's millions of... Valley is in bloom, over 9 acres. When we started, we grew 1/4 of an acre.
Now I'm taking on new products on the regular.
We always dreamed of having this property, so...
I want to make my yard look as beautiful as...
Largemouth bass?
Yep.
We've got tons of them, don't we, buddy?
There are millions of ways to make the most of your land. How will you make the most of yours?
Experience all that John Deere has to offer at Castonia Tractor. Visit us online at castrac.com.
The 2023 MVC Volleyball Championship is heading to Springfield. Watch as the league's top 8 teams compete for a trip to the NCAA tournament. Don't miss any of the action November 19th through the 22nd. The excitement takes place at Hammond Student Center, presented by the Springfield Convention and Visitors Bureau, the Dock 96.9 at AM 1060 and MC22 Springfield. For tickets and more information, call 417-836-7678 or visit MissouriStateBears.com. Since 1907, the Valley runs deep.
Flip the switch, a light turns on. Press the button, machines and instruments come to life. Touch the screen, communicate with the world. Simple tasks, guaranteed results, every second of every day. That's the power of power. And that's the power brought to you by the NECA contractors and electrical workers of Local 531.
Lakeshore Bone and Joint Institute proudly delivers world-class orthopedic care. Our goal is to get patients back to doing the activities they love after an orthopedic issue. We have over 25 highly trained specialists for every orthopedic need who provide complete care to patients of all ages. From testing and treatment to surgery and rehabilitation, you can get the complete orthopedic care you need close to home. Visit lbji.com today to make an appointment.
Let's take a look at the mid-major top 25. And, Coach, one thing that you will see as we look at this graphic is that the Missouri Valley Conference well represented this year once again.
Absolutely. Picked 1 and 2, obviously, for obvious reasons in the conference. UNI, their 1 losses to number 2, Iowa.
There you see Belmont, number 15 as well. So, again, Valpo obviously in a tough conference. Also, you look at it as well, and not on your screen, Illinois State and UIC also receiving some votes this week. So, for the most part, 5 teams in the Missouri Valley Conference getting some recognition around the mid-major top 25. And, again, we've talked about it since Valpo joined the Missouri Valley Conference, how tough this conference is across the board.
It's very tough, and typically gets about 3 or 4 teams into the postseason, but just 1 in the NCAA tournament.
After the timeout, Beacon's down 22. Western Illinois working with a basketball. They have been in charge since we tossed it up this afternoon. Leathernecks 3-1 coming in, looking for their 4th victory of the season. Their only loss came up in Madison. That was about 10 days ago to the Badgers of Wisconsin. In a game that really, going into it, at least early on, Western Illinois was able to hold their own, but too much size by the Badgers picked up the win for Wisconsin in that one.
Right, and then that was when McCowan had her double-double, 13 and 11. They're going to make some noise in the Ohio Valley, no question about it.
Flores will fire the 3 and hit. Flores in double figures. She has 10. That's her 2nd triple of the afternoon. Lead back to 25.
Western just has so many weapons. I mean, you really can't key on any one of them. And then Valpo's having a tough time. Early on, they were double teaming, but when they did that, they left him open to the basket.
Johnston on the spin move, tries to step through the up and under. She gets the hoop, the harm, and she shoots 1.
Yeah, both of her baskets in this game have come with an and one. She did miss the first free throw. We'll see if she can convert here.
That's great footwork right there.
Yeah, really nice step through. And Johnson provides some size that Valpo hasn't had up until this point. Of course, you add couple of the freshmen, the twins, the Jackson twins. They've got some size as well and length.
Valpo now 7 of 12 from the free throw line, down with 3.5 to go here in the 3rd quarter. Meadows now to Dietz. Dietz 18 points today to lead all scores. Flanagan has her pocket pick, stolen away. Jada Johnston, Valpo with numbers if they hurry. Johnston to the bucket, left-hand scoop up and good. Jada Johnston doing a nice job handling the basketball in the open floor. Gets the hoop, she's got a half a dozen.
Yeah, she's good. Instant offense, and we did mention that she got her career high against these Leathernecks last year.
Speaking of instant offense, Dietz again now with 20. Anna Dietz leading everybody today. She's been hot, especially here in the second half.
Yeah, her career high, 35 points and 15 rebounds. And that's quite a double-double. There's no question about that.
Johnston again. Double down, loses the handle with 3 to shoot. Up and good. Johnston with her 3rd straight bucket. She's got 8. 2:27 to go in the quarter. Valpo down 21. Baseline drive. Flores on top. Dietz wide open. Comes up empty on that one.
It's the wrong side of the floor. She was on the right that time.
Here's Harris. Redmond stepped on the end line, so a turnover by the Beacons. You know, you look at the floor right now, you've got Harris who can get up and down the floor. You've got Redmond who can get up and down the floor. You've got Jackson who can get up and down the floor. You've got some athletes on the floor right now for the Beacons.
And Layla Gold as well. So, yeah, we've got all those guys. And how many of those that you just named were freshmen?
Yes.
So, obviously, you know, we mentioned growing pains. I think we're seeing that right now.
Well, this is where the leadership's going to come in for this Valpo club. You know, you've got some experience on the floor. You've got Johnston. You've got, obviously, Leah Ernest. You've got Olivia Brown. So you've got three seniors on the roster that can really help these youngsters along.
And there's Layla, oh, excuse me, who got that? I think it was Ray Redmond got a steal, but then a turnover.
And then you throw Emma Teka into the mix. And there's a good combination of leadership at the senior level and then a lot of the youngsters. Here's Flores trying to weave her way into the lane. Backdoor cut, trying to find Lily Raggard, who's checked in. Raggard couldn't get that to go. Ripped away. Redmond to the rack. Runner up. She gets the bucket and the buck. She shoots one.
She has created havoc when she's been on the floor. I mean, she's so quick. I thought this is like 4 steals for her. 6 steals for her. Wow. What a defender.
Can't get that to go. Western basketball with 1:15 to play in the third.
So Valpo really trying to get a stop and a score here, get this to a manageable lead. Right now 19, which is what it was at halftime.
Here's McDermott on the crossover. She'll take it to the bucket. Johnston gets a piece of the body of McDermott, and she shoots one.
Yeah, McDermott comes off the bench, scored her 7th point. She's been pretty quiet in this half.
So McDermott goes to the line with a chance at the three-point play. The senior guard out of Fairfax, Iowa. Had 11 double-figure games a season ago. Capitalizes on the three-point opportunity. She's got 8 on the night, and it's back to 22. Redmond loses the handle. Tracked down by Gold of Valpo. Johnston looking for a teammate. Finds Redmond with 10. Timeout taken by Valpo with 37 seconds left. It's a 30-second timeout. We will keep it right here with 7 seconds to shoot. Good timeout taken right there by Mary Evans. Good teaching opportunity here with these youngsters.
Agreed. It looked like nothing was happening as far as 5 players were staying on the perimeter, but there was no screening or cutting movement. So great timeout by Mary Evans to be able to salvage this possession with just 7 seconds left on the shot clock.
Next up for the Valpo Lady Beacons at home will be on December the 7th. That'll be IU Northwest coming to town. Indiana University Northwest will be in town. They're led by a local product, Crown Point, Indiana native Jessica Carruthers, who started her career at Butler, was the Big East Freshman of the Year a season ago, and transferred back home to play at the NAIA level.
Yeah, even though it's exhibition, it should be a really good matchup because there's several Division I kids that have transferred into that IU and roster.
With 5 to shoot, here's Brown, jump pass. Out of the corner, Gold fires a 3, that's no good. Put back by Johnston, not there. Loose ball tracked down by the Beacons, and we got a loose ball foul against, I believe it's going to be against Lily Rengard of Western.
Valpo with another opportunity to score. Well, the clock is stopped with a couple free throws.
Yeah, I think Rengard got the personal.
That was kind of like a domino effect.
So the freshman guard out of Indianapolis, Layla Gold, will shoot a couple of free throws. I think they're going to review the video
to see who it was on, or Johnson came back but didn't make contact. I think that's what she said. So they're going Gold to the line.
So 24 seconds left here in the third quarter. And Layla Gold to the line, a freshman out of Indianapolis. Indiana All-Star. Coming out of high school. Hits the first. There's only one of 13 players in Indiana to earn that distinction. So she's the first player since 2017 to earn that honor. So a big pickup here for Mary Evans.
An interesting fact, and I don't know if anybody knows, but her high school coach played here. Lisa Winter was her name. It's Finn now, Lisa Finn, and she was Miss Basketball in Indiana when she was a senior in 1996. I was the opportunity to be able to be on that coaching staff when she was Miss Basketball.
The last one was 2017. I believe that was the fourth quarter underway as Jada Johnson sits down. Had a nice third quarter, Coach. 8 points on the night.
8 points, and she had 2 opportunities to make that 10. She missed both free throws. Last year she played 15 minutes a game, and of course another Ray Redmond steal. Make that 7 tonight for Ray Redmond. Obviously she's doing something right because she's been on the court a lot here in the second half.
Yeah, Jada Johnson, we mentioned her 8 points. She had all 8 points in 8 minutes span as
Right.
well. So she's played well here tonight in the time she's gotten.
Really productive last year. She played 15 minutes a game, averaged 4 points and a couple rebounds a game. Did not play in game number 1 at Eastern.
There's Sanaya Jackson for the Beacons with 14 to shoot.
I think that's going to be a charge.
Nevaeh Jackson picks up the foul. Look
Just
on the floor for Valpo right now. You've got the Jackson sisters, 2 freshmen. You've got the transfer in Harris, the senior. You've got also into the game Kayla Preston. She's a freshman.
And Ray Redmond.
And Red Redmond with a freshman.
So really all newbies. Harris, the lone person with experience, but still new to Valpo.
Harris gets called for the hip check. For Harris, that'll be her 3rd personal. There you see the foul right there on the hand check. Western basketball, Leathernecks in control. Dietz looking inside, trying to find McCowan, and a foul against the Beacons.
Jackson picks it up, so from now on we can't just say Jackson, can we?
Sanaya Jackson gets that one. Western basketball under 9 minutes left in the ball game. Dins looking inside, poked away. Beacons on the run out. Jackson to the bucket, left-hand runner, no good. Couldn't get that to go. Cleaned up by Western Illinois. Sanaya Jackson had a good look, Coach, just couldn't finish.
Yeah, she did. It was in traffic a little bit, but she just kind of jammed it up there, didn't get it high enough off the glass.
Brownfield on the crossover. Foul against Sanaya Jackson on the hand check again.
Wow, that's team foul number 4 here, and we're not even 2 minutes into the fourth quarter, so Western's going to be able to get a lot of free throws.
Western basketball. Brownfield triggers the inbound. Now Meadows has it. She'll pull it out and reset things for the Leathernecks.
Well, defensively, they've been really disruptive, this group of young players, but they've just got to be able to finish off the defensive possession and get possession of the rebound.
Brownfield on the crossover. And she traveled with it. That's the 20th turnover by Western Illinois.
Yeah, they move the ball. They play a lot of players. But again, not very many runouts for Valpo, even with the 7 steals by Ray Redmond.
Nevaeh Jackson looking inside, trying to find Sanaya. And it's thrown out of bounds back to Western.
Boy, it was a good opportunity there. It was a nice back cut off the flex screen. Just unable to connect on the pass.
Pressure now by the Beacons. Here's Meadows. Now to McCowan, back to Meadows here with 17 to shoot. J.D. Gravina I'm sure telling his club, run some clock. Let's try to be patient on a set as Ray Redmond gets the foul.
Well, that time she just was a little too close to her player. She was jumping the passing lane, but if she would have used the other hand instead of the inside hand, she would have had the steal. And it's 3 on her. Very aggressive 3, though.
Western to the stripe. Leathernecks will be shooting for the remainder of this one. Brownfield at the line. 14 starts a season ago. Earlier we mentioned this year that she had 13 in that loss to Wisconsin. Misses number 1, she gets another. J.D. Gravina looking on. As we said, now in his 13th season in Western, rather in Macomb.
Yeah, 2016, take him to the NCAA tournament for the first time since 1995. Coach of the year, had 26 wins.
Here's Harris now for the Beacons. We're going the other way. Offensive foul, legal screen, Kayla Preston of Valpo.
Just trying to get something going, trying to help her teammate out by getting open, but just it was partly Harris's fault as well. She had to take that sooner.
Be a little patient waiting for the screen.
Right.
20 turnovers now by the Beacons. Flores now for Western. Off the stutter step. Still time on the shot clock. And McCowan to the line to shoot a couple.
How about Ray Redmond as an on-the-ball defender? I mean, she could not be shaken. I think the body on the way in. But regardless, 2 shots the rest of the way, so it doesn't matter if it was on the drive or the shot.
McCowan has 11 points tonight, coming in shooting 70% from the line. Give her 12. That's her 3rd point here in the second half thus far. Had 9 in the first half to lead Western. But it's been Anna Dietz here in the second half. She's got 20 to lead everyone as McCowan hits the back end of that one. And the lead pushed back out to 23 with 7 minutes left in the contest. Harris on the standing dribble for the Beacons.
Waiting for a screen. At times she's a little bit more patient.
And a foul against Western. You know, you look at the youngsters on the floor right now for Valpo, and this is just an opportunity here for Mary Evans to get the youngsters on tape some more.
Absolutely, and experience. I mean, there's nothing you can teach that, I mean, you have to have experience.
Right.
You can't do it any other way. You try to do it in practice, but, you know, in front of a crowd and with officials and the whole bit, you just have to put them on the floor. Take your lumps early and then hope by the time conference season rolls around after Christmas that you're ready to go.
14 to shoot for Valpo. Harris to inbound. Katie Byer back in for the Beacons. Here's Redmond off the inbound. Slapped out of bounds. 10 to shoot.
Got to be a little bit more deceptive on those passes. Who's staring, kind of advertise that pass, and they jump the passing lane. Lucky it wasn't a steal.
Beacons basketball, 7 to shoot. Rainbow corner pocket 3, no good. Harris couldn't connect. Western with the board on the weak side. Here come the Leathernecks trying to stretch this lead.
That time they located Dietz early.
And the basketball goes back to Western Illinois.
Frustration from Nevaeh Jackson.
Dietz, that's too strong. The putback by Brownfield is up and good. Brownfield now with 8. Coming up on the midway mark here in the fourth quarter. Harris bumped. And a foul against Allie Meadows of Western Illinois. Emma Teka set the check back in for the Beacons.
Just the second team foul here in the fourth quarter, whereas Valpo has 7.
Here's Mallory McDermott once again for Western Illinois as well. Anna Dietz gets a breather. I would say she's probably done for the day.
I would think so.
Beacons baseline looking to get it inbound. The Buyer has it for Valpo.
Now, Valpo's done a good job defensively, just giving up 4 points here in 4 minutes, but they haven't scored in this fourth quarter yet.
Off the inbound, runner in the lane, no good. Good look at it for Redmond that time, just couldn't get it to go. Western trying to get to 4-1 on the season. Solid start for the Leathernecks this season. As we mentioned earlier, they have 8 of their 11, first 8 of 11 games at home as well. So they're off to a nice start with a nice home schedule as well early on.
Right.
Floater in the lane is up and good. How about McDermott with a nice turnaround jumper?
Really great patience, too, because Valpo's defense has been kind of smothering here in this fourth quarter.
As we said, Mallory's effort tonight, 10 points on 3 of 7 from the floor. Ernest skips it in the corner. So the basketball kick, that'll take us to a timeout on the floor. 4:56 left in regulation. Western up big. You're watching The Valley on ESPN. Western Illinois has done a great job on the boards this season. There you see the numbers, Coach, right now. 89-75 advantage. That was coming into today, Western, in terms of cleaning up the glass, and they've been great on the offensive board as well. And there you see the rebounding margin, plus 28, leading the Ohio Valley. You know, we talked about the rebounding here this afternoon. Out-rebounding Valpo 34-20, including 12 offensive boards.
Right. Valpo just has been struggling at the rebounding for the last couple of years, and part of it is defensively. When you jump switch and you front the post, you've got to be able to rotate. All 5 people have to rotate and crash the boards. And with all the newbies, as we talked about, they've got to get used to the new style.
I believe they're going to. So the personal one against Reagan McCowan. The freshman fouls out of this one. She had a solid performance here this afternoon. 13 points on 3 of 4 from the floor and 7 of 8 from the stripe. So she will sit down with a solid effort tonight with 4:55 left in regulation. And Katie Byer of Valpo to the line. Byer, the junior forward out of McHenry, Illinois, had 4 points versus Western. Hits that one to go. Byer on the board. Now that's her first points of the afternoon. Saw action in 25 games a season ago. Had 11, which was a career high versus Central Michigan.
Started this one, had a couple good looks early, but Valpo struggled from the field. I think they were 1 for 7 to start the game.
25-point lead for Western Illinois. 4:47 left in this one. Here's Flores. Ripped away by Leah Ernest. And Flores will get the personal foul. That's number 3 for her.
The fouls piling up on both sides. That might be the 5th team foul, and that means both teams will be shooting the rest of the way. Good effort by Leah Ernest. Hoping to maybe get to double digits.
Ernest hits the first, she gets another. Mary Evans and her staff wanting to see a lot of the youngsters get a lot of time here this afternoon. Number 2 by Ernest is up and good. 73-50 with 4:39 to go. Clock rolling here in this one. Western with the basketball. This is Flores. Now to Meadows. 12 to shoot. Backdoor cut. Lily Rangard couldn't get it to go. Rolls out of bounds back to the Beacons. Eva Antarante in now for Valpo. Antarante. Again, one of the seniors on this roster who will be expected to provide some leadership for this club.
Right. But she really hasn't had that much playing time either. She came in from Akron, I believe. Miscommunication on that one as well. Yeah, like I said, defensively, 6 minutes down, and they've only given up 6 points, but Valpo's only scored 4, so.
Western has turned the basketball over 21 times today. Valpo's had 22 turnovers.
Yeah. You can tell it's early season.
Exactly. Here's Dins, backdoor cut, finding McDermott, and her layup is good. McDermott now with a dozen. Valpo looking to push. Don't forget, we'll name the Lakeshore Bone and Joint Player of the game. That's coming up at the completion of this one. Indoor, or back should say inside, off the backdoor cut by the Beacons. And Raven Ray Redmond no good as she turns the basketball over. The shot at the other end is no good by Meadows, controlled by Valpo.
Ray Redmond just, her handles are incredible. Her speed, her mind has to catch up with her speed is what's happened the last couple of times with a couple turnovers.
Lob inside for Dins, faces the double down. Meadows squirts behind the defense, slapped out of bounds. That's where the game will slow down for you.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you can certainly see the upside of Ray Redmond. As we said, 7 steals. Her quickness just then, she tipped the ball out of bounds on that shot. You'll see her come in from the weak side. Right there. Ooh, looks like she might have gotten a little arm on that one. Sometimes when you're quick, you're rewarded because it happens so quickly that the official doesn't see it.
6 to shoot. Flores looking to find someone. She'll take it to the bucket. Dumps it inside. Vanguard's jumper is no good. Rebound by Ernest. Beacon's looking to push with 2.5 to play. Redmond launches the 3 and she hits it. She has 9.
She's been a bright spot for Valpo, especially here in the second half, considering she did not play at all last week.
Flores works on Interante. Backs her down. Now McDermott wide open on top is too strong. Ernest clears the carom for Valpo. .155 left in this one. Teka to the 10, and she'll shoot a couple.
Frustration from Coach Gravina as he's telling his players, stay down. You don't have to jump up to block it.
So Emma Teka to the stripe. Didn't score versus Eastern. Saw action in 25 games a season ago in her first season at Valpo. She had 12 in her first start in the Beacons uniform a season ago. And comes up short on that one. Valpo 12 of 20 from the free throw line on the afternoon.
Yeah, that's something that's controllable. That those are free points. And when you struggle to score, you've got to be able to hit your free throws.
Teka hits 1 out of 2. She has her first points of the afternoon with 1:37 to play. Reed down to McDermott. 12 to shoot.
Ray Redmond with those quick hands again, got a hand on it.
7 to shoot, sticks with Western.
This crew has done a pretty good job. The people that are on the floor right now for Valpo have done a really pretty good job of forcing tough shots, but they've given up a couple offensive rebounds, and Ray Redmond picks up steal number 8, but then turns it back over again.
Western with the basketball. 1:10 left in the ball game. So the Leathernecks will head back to Macomb with a 4-1 mark after the victory this afternoon.
I don't know if she traveled or stepped on the line. I couldn't really tell.
Here come the Beacons. And Tarante off the standing dribble.
Get good patience by Layla Gold, not to just chuck it up or dribble it.
Here's Redmond now with 9. And Tarante looking in the corner for Tecca, poked out of bounds with 4 to shoot.
That was a great help. Really, really good help by McDermott. Obviously the senior high in the gap.
Timeout taken by Valpo.
Just 4 seconds left in this possession, so Coach Evans wants to, you got to coach these guys up early, even though you're down 20, you're coaching for the next game, and obviously, and they're going on the road, so they've got to be able to get better every minute of every opportunity they have, especially with all the new players on the floor right now.
Western's been in charge of this one since we tossed it up. A solid performance tonight by the Leathernecks, and balanced scoring by Western here this afternoon. And we knew coming in that this club could score points. They were averaging roughly 76 a game, and they're at 75 right now. Dietz tonight with 20 points to lead all scores for Western Illinois, 12 from McDermott and 10 from Flores.
3 people in double figures, obviously, and 8 for Brownfield as well, so just a couple off of double figures for her. They have 8 different players score at least 3 points, and most of them scored 6 or more.
Yeah, they've done a nice job distributing the basketball this afternoon. Have the Leathernecks.
Valpo just with 2 people in double figures, say Jill Harris and Ernest with 10, and then Ray Redmond with 9.
Valpo basketball after the timeout with 4 seconds on the shot clock. Inside turnaround jumper from Gold is no good. Tecca with a steal, but she stepped on the sideline, so it's going to go back to a Western with 36 seconds left. So the Leathernecks will go to 4-1 on the season. Valpo will drop to 0-2 as they get set for their Southern Miss matchup on Tuesday night. That'll be on the road. Valpo won't be home until December the 7th. That'll be their next home match, or home game rather, against IU Northwest.
Nice move by Layla Gold behind the back.
Gold trying to follow up her own miss.
I think Ray Redmond was clawing at the basketball and got her 4th foul, maybe 5th. Fourth foul.
So number 4 for Redmond will walk down to the other end. And Kennedy Flanagan to the line to shoot a couple for Western Illinois.
Yeah, you saw with the replay Gold frustration. It was a nice behind the back dribble to be able to get open and then miss the layup and then miss the rebound. See 12 seconds left if Valpo can get a score and get this to 20 points, maybe under 20. Played him pretty close in the second half, but down 20 or 19 at halftime. Let's see if we get a shot off. Nope.
And that's going to do it as